you know, sometimes when you're reading manga, you have almost like an out-of-body experience. While you're reading it, you sit there and you stop reading for a second and go, what is happening? What am I reading? What kind of degenerate just have I become? And you ask yourself, like, what would happen if you just took, I don't know, Raw Hero, and just gave it to someone random and said, here, read this. I mean, first of all, they wouldn't know how to read it, but I digress. If they knew how to read it, my God, they would be horrified. But all that said, when you read a lot, you almost get desensitized. But it is funny sometimes to like just take a step back and go, what is this? Which leads me to Raw Hero. So here's a first impression video of Raw Hero for those of you who are late to the party or don't know what's going on, who can't read, I don't know, thumbnail titles. So yeah, Raw Hero Volume 1. You recognize this art style. This person has quite famously done quite a few manga, I feel like, recently. Tri-Agex is the one that really comes to mind. But I saw Raw Hero and I was like, I mean, the guy's art is in prison school. I'm assuming must be the same person. And the art is phenomenal. Like, it's so well done, but it is also so raunchy. So raunchy doesn't even begin to describe it. But with all that said, just to give you a quick little I liked Raw Hero. I thought it was interesting, and I finished it, and it left me wondering many things, like what am I doing with my life? But other than that, it left me kind of wanting to know what happens next. Like they didn't really give you very much backstory on like any of the plot or what's really going on, it's a slippery slope when series do that. Sometimes it works out really well, and sometimes they give you so little and so not enough that you finish the first volume and go, well, I have no idea what's going on and I'm not interested to find out, and then that's the only volume you read. This was definitely on the latter half of, it didn't tell me a whole lot, but it gave me enough hints with enough interesting story to leave me just wanting to know what happens next. So a little quick overview, some light spoilers, kind of light spoilers, especially for this because it will, I don't know, spoil the plot a little bit or the surprise, I don't know. So we start off with our main character. He's got two brothers. It looks like their father has passed away, and he is left with the feeling on his shoulders that he is like the man in the family he wants to provide, but down on his luck. There's a lot of like serious, like everything's really serious tones, but it keeps throwing like the absolute ridiculousness of the story back on you. So you feel like it's supposed to be really serious, you know, can't get a job, can't feed his two brothers, they live in a horrible apartment, but they're just constantly throwing really wacky things at you, in the tone of, you know, he finally goes out, he thinks he's gonna get a job, he's on the train, he sees a groper. Oh man, groper. I'm not gonna say anything because, I mean, how many times have you... The groper thing's a little overplayed, isn't it? I know it's not really something that's prevalent here in the West, but it's so weird how often that the groper trope is used, just because it's something that I have zero, you know, familiarity with. But anyway, they use that trope. He decides to step in, even though it's going to ruin his interview. He's not going to make it in time. And it finds out these two people are doing it on purpose. And this is where, just so you know, this is a very mature book. This is not for kiddies, by any means. Like, the action that's going on between the pretend groper and his willing victim accomplice, it's so graphic that you're almost just reading prawn at that point. it doesn't go there, but you feel like it might as well have, because you pretty much have gone all the way. But it's this very comedic. I think what makes the story so far for me is this mysterious, like, groper character, like Men in Black, black shades. He seems very, business-like, but he's ridiculous in the fact that he's role-playing groping with this lady. It's ridiculous. It's so weird. And this guy ends up offering our main character a job, and he refuses at first, but then that's when the series comes back, and his brother's like crying. His little brother's crying because they live in such a horrible situation, and he's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be my brother's hero. And this is where more of like the plot kind of trickles in. Like, there are people with superpowers, but the government hides them. They didn't really give enough info, and it sounds like we were going to like join an organization that I thought was going to be like pro-hero, but then the ridiculous factor ratchets right back up to the point where he goes in after this guy's recommendation for a secret interview. He's gonna finally get a job. He has to pass this interview. He says, go to this locker, open it. There's a suitcase. The suitcase will like have instructions. Opens the suitcase, and it's literally a girl's dress with her backstory. She's an idol. It's ridiculous. And so our main character thinks he has to cross-dress in this interview. So wackiness ensues. He ends up getting the job, cross-dressing. And so, which is quite disturbing, because this beautiful lady on the front, sorry, it's not a beautiful lady, it's a guy. I will save you the trouble of going, oh wow, she's really attractive. No, well, it's attractive, but it's a trap. It's a trap. So, it's like, oh no, God dang. And so it's this, and then it's these flashbacks between like this Men in Black guy who realizes he gave him the wrong suitcase. So it's this weird mix of just serious and trying to figure what the plot is. And so I don't know, maybe open up a page for you just to show you some of the awesome art style, but I have to pre-look at it for you just because there's no real in between here. Okay, well, I'm still going. Well, no, still can't. I mean, some of these still can't. Well, I really can't. Please. Nah. You know what? Look, this is a really boring page where nothing's happening. I wanted to show you something interesting, but that's, so you get the idea. So yeah, Raw Hero was interesting. Was a little it was funny, and I think if this book wasn't funny, I would have been out. There wouldn't have been, it would have been just weird ecchi stuff for the sake of weird ecchi stuff. But you have the humor, you have the plot intrigue, you have the ecchi, which some people are looking for that. And that kind of sells it. And so I don't know what's going on with the whole heroes. Are they good? Are they bad? Is this organization he joins evil, or are they good? I don't really know. So obviously he got the job as a woman, as this beautiful idol. So he's going to have to keep being this beautiful idol, which I will just imagine where the hijinks will ensue. I don't really know. Like, is there? I want to know what more were like with the superpowers and stuff. It's interesting. There's like a hero that shows up, that looks like a woman. She's dressed all in a black latex, and she's voluptuous. But you don't see her, so no promises, evidently. So yeah, would I recommend Raw Hero? You'd have to be a massive fan of ecchi. Like, absolutely. Extreme. Like school, like prison school levels. You know what you're getting into if you've read anything from this artist before, or anything this artist has done before. That's the base entry level of what you're getting into. If that floats your boat, and you like comedy, but not all comedy, not like slapstick, totally silly, all the time, but sometimes there is a little bit of that, where it's pretty ridiculous and abstract in a way. So if that's your kind of humor, then this book would be for you. So I'll probably read a little bit more. I can't say it's a series that's like amazing, that's going to be revolutionary, but it was funny, and I liked it. So I'd probably recommend it. It was good. It was good. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching this review thing. Click like if you liked it, comment if you've read it, tell me what your thoughts were in the comments below.